Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. So, Scorpio, tonight we have the Two of Cups. Not a shabby card, right? This is all about love. Now, before you say, ew, I don't want a love reading, I don't want to hear about it, I feel you. I feel ya. It doesn't have to be about romantic love, right? This is about, well, we have the cups. So this is the water element. This is about the fluidity, the power, the life-bringing quality of water. Right? This is also about the number 2, which is often about making decisions. It's often about duality. It is it's the place where we stand and we can see the stark differences in things, even if they're actually not that big, right? When you start to have eyes to see and it's not all just kind of, this long mush of everything is everything, right? And we get that way, don't we? I think in the higher thinking, definitely, right? As you ascend the grade system, we start to realize, yeah, everything really is everything, right? But when we're in autopilot, when we're just kind of getting through the days, doing whatever we can to not absolutely lose it, or even just, succumb to the feeling of stagnant or loss, or not living up to the way that you thought things would be, or whatever. And then we have the 2 energy that comes in, and we start to see, right? We start to see where things are different. We're aware. Our eyes have opened. I go through this a lot in my life. I go through little moments of like burnout, of maybe, varying degrees of depression, and so on. And I find that everything just feels like it doesn't matter, right? There could be a field of roses and I'm walking by and I'm too caught up in whatever's going on with me to even notice. Like, look at this beauty. Well, when we come into this 2 of Cups, we are acutely aware, right? And we're finding the thing. We're finding the thing. That it could be romantic love. It could be love with family, with friends, your social groups, your local community, your larger community. It doesn't, any of these things. It could also be careers, hobbies, anything that we can really get a hold of. Maybe you've discovered history, for the reading history books or listening to, history podcasts here on YouTube or whatever it is, right? But there's love here and it feels important, okay? It feels important. So we're going to turn this thing and I'm going to knock on it 3 times. And we're going to lift this thing up, yeah. And let's see what these tea leaves are going to show us today. My goodness, this one's very detailed. And so I want to say thank you so much for deciding to click on this reading. It's always such a huge honor for me to be able to share these messages with you. And I hope they find you well. And also just welcome. Welcome here. Welcome to the channel. Welcome home. All right. So we are going to spin this and I want to come back around to that part because, oh man, And then we have a face there. Look at this face. Here's the eye, here's the nose, here's the little mouth, and the ear kind of like this. But it reminds me very much of a stag. Okay, so a male deer. I'm pretty sure I saw it. Yes, I did. Okay, I'm not going to go too fast. We have a deer here, another face. Here are the eyes. Here's the nose and the mouth and the antlers. Now up here we have, it looks like another deer. And you can see side profile. Here's the face, here's the neck, here's the body, and leg kind of pulled up. So it looks like it's jumping. So we have 3 deer spottings. We have a rat. Right here's the face of a rat, right in here. And above, look at the eyes and the nose and the mouth. All right, we got to do this one first. Look at this, eyes, nose, mouth. You can see it kind of looks like plump lips. Here is the face. It almost looks like maybe a scar. And we have somebody who has a very lunar presence, okay? They're very moon related, maybe moody, very artistic, mysterious to some degree. But because we have the rat coming out of her mouth, and I do feel like this is probably a feminine person. There is the rat that's coming out of the mouth, and here are the eyes, the kind of line that shows down the nose, and here would be like, you know, the mouth and stuff. So I kind of almost feel like you've had somebody who is maybe a friend, definitely feels like somebody within your age group or relatively so, right? But I feel like it's like they're telling your business, they're telling on you at work, they're telling on, you know, your family. I don't know who they're telling. Hopefully, you know, nobody out. Maybe, hopefully they're not getting any, you know, the legal system involved. But it feels to me like this was somebody that you really looked up to. I almost like get this feeling of like, have you ever seen that movie Jennifer's Body? It has I don't know why I thought I would know her name. What is her name? She's very beautiful. She's that one that was she had that relationship with the rapper MGK. I'm a big rap fan, but I've never heard any of his music, to be honest. What is her name? I know it's Megan Fox. Okay, so the movie Jennifer's Body with Megan Fox. So it's about, I'm not, you know, spoilers maybe, I don't know. I barely remember the movie, but I remember the feeling of her character. So kind of that classic, beautiful, maybe a little bit of a mean girl, but also like, you know, will make friends with kind of the nerdy one or, you know, whatever. And I almost feel like this is somebody that you were really drawn to because they're like maybe just super cool, maybe very attractive, just, you know, but also very inviting and personable and made you always feel like a friend, like a good, you know, you had a good connection. There was respect there. But I feel like they have just been dragging your name through the mud. And I don't know why yet. I don't know why. But I do feel like this is something that, you know, it feels very heartbreaking. I feel like it's like you had told yourself, don't trust this person, you know, don't just immediately like open up and be vulnerable with them. But you felt the connection, and you know, you're a Scorpio, so you're not really the best at hiding, you know, parts of self. And, you know, although, listen, a male Scorpio can be very mysterious, secretive, and very angry if you even try to ask them about like what's going on with you. They like their privacy, right? But I feel like generally you're going to show how you feel. You know what I mean? And so I feel like this is just such a devastating thing to find out, like, this person who you thought was cool, like on the level, and here they are, just trashing your name. I'm trying to decipher what some of these say. One says C-R-Y, so cry. And I do believe that you've been crying over this. I think more than anything, it gives you a lot of anxiety. It also makes you pretty angry, right? Because you've been misled and you've been treated poorly and embarrassed, which I don't think that's the most important thing for you. I don't think you could care less. Like I always say, I'm a Virgo sun, right? And I feel like Scorpios are our twins. You're just way cooler than us Virgos. Sorry, Virgos, if you're listening. So we also have the number 36 up here. We have the number 6 down here. Another 6. And then I remember, what did I see? It looked like it was a 6 and a 9. 69 maybe. And then we have 509, 509. Okay, so I want to go back to the deer. I want to find out what's going on with this. The other thing that feels very important, and this was the first thing that I saw, was we have a big spider, right? And to me, it also looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. 6 people at least. And I feel like this is a deep devotion. Now, let's talk about the spider. What does the spider mean? You can see here, I love a good spider. I'm all about that spider life. I am definitely one of those annoying weirdos that I will not kill a spider ever. I don't care if it's poisonous or not. And yes, I do come from a warm climate. Right now, I don't. Right now, I live where it's mostly cold, so we don't get any wild, like, poisonous spiders. But I don't know, even growing up, and I grew up in California, so we did have poisonous stuff crawling around. I have such a deep belovedness with them. And, you know, within my culture, both kind of generally, but also specifically to my tribe, which is the Choctaw. And I'm Native American, by the way. The spider is all about the grandmother in the sky. Now, the closest thing that I can think of whenever we're talking about this is Nuit, right? The goddess of the sky. She is a primordial goddess. What does that mean? She's one of the first generation of goddesses, or maybe Nuit's like second or third. I don't know, but she's still a primordial goddess. And kind of, it's hard to understand if it's kind of like, is she the gateway to the cosmos, or is she the cosmos herself, right? The spider is very similar. The mother spider, the goddess spider, the grandmother spider. You know, there is the spider goddess. I have the worst time pronouncing stuff. But she's the mother goddess, and I'm going to make sure I have the culture right first. Let's see. I know I'm over here typing away on my my phone. I'm on my pocket computer. Let's see. And I believe she doesn't really, and I'm just going to try to say it. It's Teotihuacan, which is awful that I'm just bad at pronouncing all kinds of words, even English words. So please do not be offended if I mispronounce something. A lot of it is that I'm self-learned. I just read stuff, and I'm not very good at speaking properly. If you've ever had an email or anything with me, you can even see in the way I write. Okay, so this is a goddess that was found in, I believe she was found in like there's a mural, and it's actually in like a house within a city, like an ancient city. Okay. And so anyhow, with these older cultures, it's hard to really know exactly what things meant. Even if you watch a video about them or read a book about them, a lot of times there's a lot of guesswork going on, unless there are source material about, right? What is this? What does it mean? What does this symbol mean? So the goddess, the mother goddess, the grandmother goddess, she is the bringer of dreams. She weaves together the matrix, if you could think of it like that. She is the one that kind of, I wouldn't say controls the collective realm or dimension or reality that we all kind of share, but she is definitely involved in placing information and things, and taking abstracts and forming them into concepts and ideas and feelings and beautiful material things and horrendous material thing, right? And I don't mean like objects like that we're buying. I just mean anything that is material, right? That is physical. It's in the physical world. So she is kind of, she is the weaver. And seeing this, and accompanied by the people who are standing, which are also the legs, we also have those 3 deer. And now the deer is a sacred animal. When you meet with a deer, when you come upon a deer, or a deer comes upon you in a meadow, in your backyard, by the road, or whatever it is, right? This is a sacred moment. Now, especially if you're having dreams or visions and you are meeting the stag or a deer in general, but especially the stag, this is a absolute spiritual encounter, right? And usually an invitation. And it's also a place where we stop. We stop and we look at this thing. We decide, what archetype, what role will we play as we interact? Will we be the warrior? Are we going to hunt this thing down? Take it and use it for sustenance? Are we going to be, the healer, the lover? Are we going to go and greet it, let it, come to us and we'll come to it, and we kind of meet in the middle, and, we add to each other's lives. We commune with one another on an even level, Do we just become the fool and keep walking, unbothered by anything that's kind of going on around us? And you see where I'm going with this, okay? So I feel like for you, and what this really looks like to me, is there is somebody within your ancestry, your elders. I think it is a feminine person. And I feel like there's a lot of emphasis on helping you or wanting for you to find your purpose. Okay? To find the thing or things that bring real meaning to your life. Now, I'm not saying that you're living a frivolous life, but listen, we all do at times. I don't care who you are. You know, I can say, you know, and I'm not saying anything bad about my husband, but you all know my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot, my husband Paul. He is a very, very serious person, or at least he appears to be, right? In his readings and in person. He's intelligent, he's clever, he's, you know, always busy with his projects, the business that we run together, we've built together, you know, whatever. All of the stuff. But does he at times find himself kind of adrift? Or focused on things that ultimately don't add to his vision? Of course. And I'm using him as an example because even myself, when I met him, and I just couldn't believe how amazing he was. Also, that he hadn't been married before. Like, what? Something's got to be weird here, right? But no. And I just always thought this guy must be reading books all the time and, you know, writing on scrolls and you know, doing magic operations and stuff. And yeah, sometimes that's true. A lot of the times I think that's true. But then there are moments, even days, weeks, months, where not only is he kind of living in a frivolous way, so am I. But we all do, you know. And I personally think that if you are a serious person with whatever it is you do, if it's art, if it's, you know, you're an engineer, if you have a business, if you, you know, I don't know, whatever, have a career, that you're a family, you know, a desire, a passion that just absolutely rules you. We all need that other side, that duality we were talking about. We need moments where our brain is just kind of going along, right? We need to read frivolous fiction books. We need to watch, you know, if you're a TV watcher, which I am. This is how I always protect or defend myself about watching reality TV sometimes. I feel like, yeah, I deal with really heavy stuff all day long. And sometimes, yeah, I want to watch some stuff that is just, it's absurd. It's so out of the realm of how I live and the things that I do and think about that it seems like a caricature. And my brain just kind of turns off and goes along with the ride, right? And sometimes we need that. But I feel like for you, it's kind of like you're getting that little shake, right? That little, hey, it's time to get up. It's time to wake up, you know? And I feel like it definitely is this feminine energy, this ancestor, this elder, grandma, great-grandma, great-great-great-great-grandma, I don't know. Somebody, right? and coming to you in the form of probably like a spider. Maybe in your dreams, maybe you've seen a lot of spider imagery. Maybe even there's been some spiders hanging out, right? But here's the deal. I don't think it's just about like, hey, wake up, it's time to get going, right? You can't just idle here. No, it's more than that, because I'm looking at this over here and I keep seeing it as a key. Right here, as a key. And it's almost kind of like you're being handed this, what is it? A gift? An ability? I feel like your family, especially, and I do believe this is on your mother's side. At the very least, quite intuitive, but much more than that. I feel like very powerful seers. Now, not the whole family. This is kind of a once every generation or two, right? And you might find that you're kind of the outcast a little bit. And I think that's because people are and were afraid of you being able to see their secrets. I think that's the big thing. Your family, I don't want to go too far into this, but your family seems like, because when I'm trying to look at your family, I'm seeing like a long corridor, and it's like the lights have been turned off. They're not burnt out, or it's turned off on purpose, but also all the doors are shut. Usually something would be open a little bit, right? You would have connections to free reign over, to kind of just travel through. If you could imagine your family and the histories of your family like a home or a house, a huge house, right? A mansion, that you could wander the corridors. And sometimes rooms will be open and you walk in and you understand things about your family. There are events and feelings and impressions and objects and sometimes even people in their physical forms. But in this case, your family seems very cut off. Now, it could be that they're very secretive. It could be something like diaspora, right? What does that mean? It's when a group of people is kind of spread out. We talk about this a lot in my community because, we all kind of know, if you're from America, you should know the histories of the native peoples here and what happened to them when they were forcibly moved, when the kids were taken away, sent to government schools, when, and not only that, people would leave the reservations to go find work, to go find something out there, anything, right? And so they spread to the winds all over the place. And a lot of people, including myself, I don't have my language, right? I don't have my language anymore. I don't have my culture. Now that's on me because I need to go back, not even back, I need to go to and educate myself, right? But the point is, the diaspora is a spreading out of people. And it's not just so many different cultures have had this, right? So It could be something like this, where you have been separated from the line of your family in a very real way, right? Now, the other thing could be, you know, less about your family kind of being spread apart and more you losing contact with your family. Maybe being estranged, maybe you've gone non-contact, maybe you know, you were fostered, adopted, orphaned. I can raise my hand for that one too. I was orphaned as well. So that's another layer for me of why I don't have that connection. You know, I try to. I have, as I've gotten older, I've really worked hard to, you know, make those connections. But, you know, it's hard. It's hard, especially when you don't have family. So I understand that. And I really, I feel like this is the thing. I don't feel like it's a sense of grief where this is like keeping you held down or you are pitying yourself or anything like that. But I feel like there is something that you're looking for an answer about something. And you have not been able to suss it out. Now, I see in this next cycle, there seems to be some kind of union. I see dancing. I see somebody who is going to be receiving money, okay? Because we have a fish next to the person. And then here, which is interesting, we have a person here, a person here. This one has an X on them. This one has an O on them. Okay, so kind of it does almost feel a little romantic. We have a smiley face. We have those people dancing again. Look at that. So, I don't know that this is, that you're meeting somebody, but I feel like even this sense of self-love, of a belovedness of self, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that you finally are really standing up for yourself in a way that is useful, not just popping off or, you know, just wiling out saying whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and again, I feel you deeply, Scorpio, about that. But, you know, we get to a certain age, anyways, I hope, you know, hopefully, where you start to try to reel it in a little bit, right? You start to try to stay away from unnecessary conflict. And I feel like for you, kind of coming into this era of your life, it is something to congratulate yourself on, you know, because it's not easy. It's not easy to change our reactions, right? We live in this like self-help world where it's like, oh yeah, you just got to do this. You got to get up early and drink lots of water and, you know, and never ever think a negative thought and, you know, and then you're fixed. But it's not always that easy. Recoding ourselves, getting rid of the conditioning from our childhood, from the, you know, the ambient social conditioning that we receive every day of our life, you know, and so on and so forth, to get in there and to fix or change or throw it out or, you know, whatever, some of that stuff is not easy. And that's why most people never even begin with it. A lot of people are not even aware, right? They don't even realize, like, I got to work on some stuff, right? Because my life isn't going well. you know, and instead of doing that work, they blame everybody else. It's everybody's fault. It's that guy, he should have seen me. Oh, it's her. She, you know, even though her work has this rule, she should have broke it for me. She should have, you know, seen that I was struggling, or I needed this, or, you know, whatever it is. You get into this thought, I don't even know. I guess it's a thought process, this way of thinking. And it is literally building a mind prison, right? So I feel like you're doing some of the deep work, because you're learning to let go of that instinct, right? To just all right, let's do our lucky numbers. We have 69. Of course, we saw that in the plate. 69. Woo. 100. We're getting all the silly numbers. Keep it 100. We got 16. I'm not going to go into that one, but you know. 98. I don't know what that one is. It was a decent year, right? Oh my gosh, I have to tell you guys this. The other day, my daughter was doing an activity where there were other kids, and this girl who is kind of she's a family friend, and she's 10, and we were just me and her auntie were talking, and she came into the conversation, and we were saying something about, oh yeah, back in the 90s, you know, whatever. She's like, you guys were alive in the 90s? And I was like, not the 1890s, the 1990s. And she's like, yeah. Isn't that like when grandparents were alive? I'm like, oh my gosh, I was a teenager in the 90s. Like, what? So anyways, that made me feel very old. All right, so we're going to finish with our gratitude affirmation cards. I'm just going to flip through, stop where it feels right. And it says, joyful bouquet. I enjoy the delight that humor brings. Laughter is a colorful bouquet, imparting joy to my soul and energy to my, imparting, yes, I said it right. I was trying, okay, I'm just going to be real. I could not stop thinking about the fact I didn't even mention in the cup it said Ian. And I didn't pick up on who Ian might be, but there was the name Ian, okay? And it was higher, let me see if we can see it still. Hopefully the water didn't move it. It did. Well, maybe not too. No, yeah, it did. So anyways, it said Ian. And I don't know who that is, but I forgot to mention it. And now I was reading and I thought, oh, Ian, I forgot about you, buddy. All right, here we go. I enjoy the delight that humor brings. Laughter is a colorful bouquet, imparting joy to my soul and energy to my spirit. I appreciate the comedic aspects of life that bring me cheer. Practice. When was the last time you enjoyed a good laugh? Think of a funny joke, movie, or moment in your day that infused you with joy. All right, now we're gonna do our last card. These are the inner child oracle cards, and I'm gonna flip through, stop where it feels right, and it says, run wild. Let your inner child run forth. Yes. Oh yeah. I've been playing tag a lot with my daughter. Oh my gosh. So I'm interested, because the gratitude card was about humor. I'm like thinking, I'm really into like comedy podcasts and stand-up and all this stuff. And I'm trying to think what comedian I believe would be a Scorpio. And I think there are two that came to mind, but the first one I thought was Bill Burr, if you know who that is. He just had a special come out, actually. But I don't know. He also seems kind of like a Capricorn a little bit, which I know it's Scorpio, Capricorn, but, so I'm going to look that up. But the other guy is, the Luis Gomez. Luis Gomez. Let's see. So first I'm going to look up Bill Burr. Thank you for sitting with me and watching this if you're still here. Let's see. I just guessed. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bill Burr is a Gemini. I didn't even think of that. He is a Gemini, isn't he? Okay. Let's see. Aries. I was wrong on both of them. No. Wait a second. Oh, that's the wrong one. He's not. He's a Cancer. No way. This has to be wrong. I'm going to look up the comedian. Luis J. Gomez. When is your birthday? Okay. I guess he is an Aries. All right. Well, there you go. It's hard to find, like, people's actual, like, it's such a common name. Well, I was wrong. Anyways, I was right about the fictional character, Jordan Catalano, as being a Pisces. I was like, that dude is a Pisces for sure. And I was right. So anyways, I was wrong about all that. Hopefully, hopefully that wasn't too boring. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that's it. This has been a long one. I love doing Scorpio readings, and I'm so sorry it's been kind of hit or, on and off lately. It's just, I have so many excuses. I'm just busy. I'm busy and we keep getting sick. And that's the other thing. My daughter's in preschool and she brings home like every germ known to man. So she has strep throat. I think it's strep throat. We're going to go test tomorrow if she's still feeling really icky, but what are you gonna do? Anyway, Scorpio, I love you. Thank you for staying here with me. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Other than that, we'll talk to you later. All right, good night.